let's take a quick tour of the interface elements to familiarize ourselves with it. As soon as you launch Captivate, you will be greeted with a welcome screen. On this screen, you can decide to create one of these project types like responsive project, virtual reality project, software simulation, or a blank project. Or you can create other types of projects by going to the File menu, New Project, and then create one of these project types. You can also record a new software simulation, a video demo, or a device demo. If you wish to open an existing project, you can switch to the Recent tab, where you'll find the thumbnails for all the projects that you have either created or opened in Captivate. If you're starting Captivate for the first time, you'll find this area blank with just the Browse button available on the bottom left corner to browse and open an existing project. The Resources tab will allow you to access the sample projects and video tutorials on essential and new features of Captivate. To create a new project, let's go back to the New tab and double-click one of these thumbnails. Let's start with creating a blank project. This will create a new project for you. The main elements of Captivate interface are Film Strip, Toolbar, Properties Inspector, Library, Timeline, and the Stage. By default, Timeline, Properties Inspector, and Library are hidden to give you more working space. You can open them as and when required. To open the timeline, click on the timeline bar. To close, double-click the bar. To open the Properties Inspector, click the Properties button on the top right corner. Similarly, to access the library, click the Library button next to Properties. Now let's talk about the functionalities of each of these elements. To begin, let's talk about the Stage area. The stage is the area where you will add all the objects for your course. Anything you add in this area will be visible to your learners. Around the stage, you will find the Scrap area, where you can add some additional objects or just keep the objects at the start state for the animations. The objects placed in this area will not be visible to the learners. You can also make use of this space to add some developer notes, cheat codes for correct responses, design guidelines, color codes, or any other information that you may require at the time of developing the course. Now let's talk about the film strip. The film strip displays the slides in the project in the order in which they appear when published. You can right-click any of the slide with the options to add new slides, objects, audio, etc. And you can also change the size of the thumbnails in the film strip view. You can also change the order of the slides by dragging it to a new location within the film strip. For that, let's right-click the thumbnail, go to Slides, New Slide From, and select one of the slides. Then, click and drag the slide thumbnail to a new location to change the order of the slides. The toolbar in Captivate has all the frequently used tools or options like adding new slides, changing the theme, adding text, adding shapes, adding interactions, and previewing and publishing the project. The rest of the options and tools are available under the main menu. The Properties Inspector will allow you to modify the properties of slides and objects. The options available in the Properties Inspector are context sensitive and appear based on the nature of the selected slide or object. For example, currently you are seeing the slide properties, but if you select an object on the stage, you will see a different set of options available to modify this object. Let's talk about the library now. Every Captivate project contains its own library. The library is a repository of resources such as audio files, images, and animations. These resources or items are automatically added to the library when you use them in the project, and you can also import them into the library and then use them when needed. You can also open a library of other projects in your current project to use some of the assets from those libraries. The timeline is a visual representation of the timing of the objects on the slide. The timeline provides an easy way to view at a high level all the objects on the slide and their relationship to each other. Now let's take a look at the Preferences dialog. If you are on Windows, you'll find the Preferences option under the Edit menu. If you are on Mac, you'll find it under Adobe Captivate. Click the Preferences option and that will open the Preferences dialog. Captivate uses a default set of preferences for creating projects. You can customize these preferences using the various options available in this dialog. You can set these preferences upfront or make changes to them at any time during the project creation. These are the basic elements of a normal Captivate project. For responsive, video demo, and virtual reality projects, things will look slightly different.